Hi there, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us on this Thursday. It is July the 18th. I'm Emily Vukovic. Tom Reynolds is going to be joining me shortly. He's busy with those traffic cameras, and we'll get an update with him in just a few moments. It is a hot, sweltering, sticky day, and it is going to be a hot, sweltering, sticky day.
Hi.
Again tomorrow.
It is a hot day.
I told him that you were busy with the traffic cameras.
I've got a technical issue this morning. It looks like the heat has caused a power supply to go, so we've got some issues.
That's his excuse.
But it's the truth.
It is. Okay, well, I was just talking about the hot and sticky conditions yesterday and how it's going to be hot and sticky again today and tomorrow. And there's a good chance that we could reach heat wave status.
Yeah. Heat wave today. 30, I mean, it's going to feel like 42 again. That's hot. I mean, yesterday was just brutal. What did we get high yesterday?
35.
35 degrees. And that's
35.
without the humidity.
Yeah, with the humididex, it felt more like the mid-40s, as Tom was mentioning.
That's gracious, yeah. And even cottage country really doesn't get much of a reprieve.
Well, I don't know. If you're on vacation this week, you're probably loving the heat and the humidity. If you're not on vacation and you work outdoors, if you do construction, landscaping, roofing, any of those types of...
Tough.
Like unimaginably tough.
Huge heat.
I was a bad pet parent.
How about insulating an attic?
She could barely hang out with me. She was in the shade the whole time. It is going to be another warm, sticky day today, and we're going to check in on how people are behaving on the roads with Tom. It does. You are going to be impressed by the weekend. But until then, we've got hot, sticky conditions today and into tomorrow, feeling closer to 44. And then look at Saturday and Sunday, looking fantastic. By Sunday, it's actually going to feel kind of cool, seeing a daytime high of 22 degrees. But we may have to endure some severe thunderstorms before that. Details in a minute. Well, if you're traveling through the United States, it is going to be hot getting into the weekend in parts of New York. Buffalo, 31, risk of a few isolated thunderstorms. Look at Boston, 36 degrees. New York City, 32. Miami, 32 degrees. Could see some tropical moisture pop-up thunderstorms. Into the west, it is hot, and it is going to be dry. Los Angeles getting up to 23 degrees. Hi there, good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Emily Vukovic. Some of us are complaining about the heat and the humidity, but at least it's providing great holiday weather. And no matter where you go in this country, there's no lack of summer weather, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Hot, humid conditions could fit into any of these categories, depending on your access to air conditioning. In southern Quebec, sticky air is getting part of the blame. From uprooted trees to a house fire, a severe thunderstorm on the west coast of Florida left. That is your newscast for this half hour. Coming up, we'll talk about the cool down that is set to arrive in the GTA over the weekend. But first, I'm going to turn things over to Tom Reynolds for traffic. Heat and humidity. That's again the story of the day today. Temperatures skyrocketed yesterday throughout much of southern Ontario. A couple of communities in and around the GTA have reached heat wave status. Toronto is close. Here's a look at the forecast yesterday. Humidex values yesterday look like this. Hot, sticky. 44 is what it felt like in London. Felt like 44 for the city of Toronto. 41 through Muskoka. 47. The big winner in St. Catharines. That's what it felt like with the humidity. It was like, honestly, kind of like a slap in the face when you walked outside. But I love that feeling. Do you love that feeling when you walk out of an air-conditioned building into the heat? Because I know, like my workplace here and your workplace is probably incredibly air-conditioned, right? So when you are cold, because you're wearing a T-shirt because it's summer, and then you go outside and you feel that wall of heat. Oh, I love that feeling. Cold front triggered thunderstorms throughout the day yesterday through parts of eastern Ontario and northeastern Ontario. We saw hail about 2 centimeters in diameter, and there's a risk that we could see some more severe cells firing up throughout the day today. The better risk is kind of north and east of the city of Toronto, down towards the southwest, pop-up garden variety thunderstorms. And then Friday comes our next system, and behind the system, a cool down. Details in your long range. I'm going to turn things over to Tom Reynolds. He's been busy on the traffic cameras this morning. Tom, what's going on?
Well,
Well, if you're traveling through the United States, it is going to be hot getting into the weekend in parts of New York. Buffalo, 31, risk of a few isolated thunderstorms. Look at Boston, 36 degrees. New York City, 32. Miami, 32 degrees. Could see some tropical moisture pop up thunderstorms into the west. It is hot and it is going to be dry. Los Angeles getting up to 23 degrees. Hi there, good morning. Thanks for joining us. It is another hot and muggy start to the day. Tom, I was just on Facebook and somebody posted what Canadians say about winter, or what the Canadians say about Canadian weather.
Right.
In the winter. Bert, it's too cold. When's it going to warm up?
Right.
I hate this rain. When's it going to stop raining?
Right.
Finally, summer is here. It's amazing.
Yes.
And now it's too hot.
Well, you and I didn't say it.
Well, no, I love the heat.
I do too.
A lot of people don't.
I know. Well, I mean, if you have to work in this, it would be brutal.
Awful.
But I mean, people do it all the time down south. All the time.
I know.
All for months and months at end. It's this
But
hot.
I think you probably get climatized, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, I think. Temperatures right now are hot. I mean, I think of those people that are doing construction on the highways, they work overnight.
Yeah.
It's still scorching right now. It's 25 for the city of Toronto.
42s, 40s, it's going to be still very hot. Not quite as hot as yesterday, but pretty close.
You know what I love about this heat? That when we're in air conditioning like we are right now,
Yes.
and then you walk outside and it's like a wall. Like it just hits you,
Yeah, it really is.
I love that feeling.
Yeah, I a couple of times yesterday I was in air conditioning, and then I had to put my sunglasses on as I walked outside, and poof.
Oh, yeah. It's like a slap in the face.
I mean, it just suddenly they fogged up.
Yeah, I love it though.
It's lovely.
I do. And you know what? If you're on vacation this week, it'd be perfect to be down by the water where you're at least getting a little bit of a lake breeze. There's storms, however, and I'll talk more about that coming up at your long range. But first, here's Tom with a look at the roads. Well, the risk of a few isolated thunderstorms is going to fire up again throughout the day today, but more so north and east of the city of Toronto. So we're right on the cusp, but look at the cool down that we're going to see over the weekend. In Hamilton, by Sunday, 22 degrees. Well, if you're traveling through the United States, it is going to be hot getting into the weekend in parts of New York. Buffalo, 31, risk of a few isolated thunderstorms. Look at Boston, 36 degrees. New York City, 32. Miami, 32 degrees. Could see some tropical moisture pop up thunderstorms into the west. It is hot and it is going to be dry. Los Angeles getting up to 23 degrees. Hi there, good morning. We are having a little bit too much fun here at work, and I'm just back from maternity leave. I've been here for like a week and a half, so if this doesn't work properly for me, I'm blaming that. Okay, today is a big day for folks that live in Mississauga and anywhere in the surrounding area. Ribfest kicks off today. It is going to be hot, it is going to be sunny, it is going to be a perfect day to eat some ribs. So that's what's happening. Now, okay, here we go. Okay, it's just a, not really sure what's going on there, but here we go. There we go. I don't know why it's oh, I missed it. I hope this is fun for you at home. Okay, today, see these feet? Those are Kevin's feet. Kevin Yard, yeah. Kevin Yard lives really close to Ribfest, so in between hits, Kevin, decided to go up to his apartment in the air conditioning and watch my news. That's where Kevin is. Okay? So then, oh wait, am I doing it wrong again? Okay, so Kevin, going to Ribfest, is going to bring back some ribs, hopefully, because he did the last time he went to Ribfest for me. And this is going to be my story today. Ribs plus dental floss, because I have a dentist appointment at about, later on this morning, so I can't eat ribs and then go to the dentist without using dental floss. Okay, it is hot, it is sticky. I will figure out the active weather set before the day is out. Temperatures getting up into the 30s today, feeling more like the 40s when you factor in the humidity. Tom, it is going to be another scorcher. It's hot, it is sticky, it is the middle of summer, and a lot of people love it, a lot of people hate it. I don't know, Tom, I think we're one of the few that love it.
I love it. I mean, a lot of people love it. But it beats a blizzard.
Sure does.
When you said hot and sticky, at first I thought you were talking about ribs.
Well, speaking of ribs, Kevin Yard, you've made me some promises today, and I expect you to come through.
Me too.
Kevin is at Mississauga Ribfest, and Kevin, I just talked about you watching television in your apartment, waiting for Ribfest to begin. Kevin, don't eat them all before you get back to the studio. Tom says he's willing to throw down a cab down there. It looks good. The heat and humidity, it's going to break by the weekend. We are going to see a huge cool down behind that cold front. So Saturday, 26, still feeling like 32. But look at Sunday. It's actually going to feel kind of cool in comparison, being a daytime high of 22 degrees. But it's setting up to be a fantastic weekend through the GTA. time of year, a lot of people are hitting the road, going on vacation. If you're off to Europe, it is still, if you're off to the United States, it is still hot towards Buffalo and through Boston and New York, feeling the same heat as southern Ontario. To the west, it is hot and sunny. If you're off to Europe, we are seeing lots of sunshine through Amsterdam and Belgrade, looking good, 33 degrees. And in through Greece, it is hot, it is sunny, 33 in Athens. Hi there, good morning. I'm Emily Vukovic. No matter where you go in this country, there's no lack of summer weather. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Hot, humid conditions could fit into any of those categories, depending on your access to air conditioning. In southern Quebec, the weather is now over, thanks to a cold front, which I think a lot of people are going to be breathing a sigh of relief over the weekend. It is hot, it is humid, and it is sticky. Sticky is a good way to describe the ribs that Kevin Yard's going to be eating. He joins us live from Mississauga Rib Fest. Kevin, is that a bib you have on? The heat, the humidity, it's been our big story this week. I've got good news and I've got bad news. Which would you like first? The good news? Okay. The good news is that things are really going to cool down by the weekend. The bad news, we may see some storms to get us there. Yesterday, temperatures skyrocketed for the city of Toronto. News reached the low to mid 40s. It felt like 44 through the city of Toronto and in through London. But St. Catharines, the big winner, felt like 47 when you factored in the humidity. Now, we've got a couple of things going on. We have a cold front to our north that could potentially bring possibly severe cells through parts of cottage country and in through southeastern Ontario as it cruises through. And I mean, there's a chance kind of through Kingston and up towards Brockville and Ottawa that those cells could become severe, especially when you throw in a little daytime heating. Things are cooling down behind this cold front for you in cottage country, setting up to be an absolutely stunning weekend. Now for us, there is a chance for some garden variety pop-up thunderstorms down towards the southwest. Our big story getting into the weekend is going to be this system that's happening throughout the day tomorrow. It is going to be mostly late afternoon, early evening, where we could see thunderstorm activity firing up, some severe cells possible with heavy downpours, strong winds, maybe even some small-sized hail. But it's going to be mostly through the GTA tomorrow afternoon and into the evening. And then we have a huge cool down coming behind it. Temperatures over the weekend hitting the low 20s. Quick look at the risk map for today, mostly through cottage country and then throughout the day tomorrow, higher risk for more severe storms firing up. Here's Tom now with a look at traffic. Hi there, good morning. It is Thursday. It is the 17th of July. I'm Emily Vukovic.
Yeah, I'm Tom Reynolds. And how are you liking the heat so far?
Love it.
It's been pretty sticky. It's been pretty hot. But you know what? I love this compared to
February.
Oh, gosh. February is such a drag.
You can't shovel heat.
Oh, that's true.
We joined Kevin.
I was just thinking about that for a second.
He joins us live at Mississauga Rib Fest. And Kevin, I am so jealous. I just tweeted a picture of you just about to dig right into some juicy ribs.
I'm so
it's
hungry.
only 7 in the morning.
I'm
but
so hungry.
Tom could probably eat a full rack right now.
I could eat a rack.
Really, Kevin? Really? You're just going to eat them right like that just to tempt us? Tom?
Well, I'm opening a new franchise. It's going to be called Breakfast Ribs. I think it's a good idea.
The potential for storms is there today and into tomorrow. We do have a cold front moving in that could trigger off some fairly severe cells, meaning very heavy downpours, strong winds by tomorrow afternoon, evening. But then look at the weekend. We cool down on Sunday. It's actually going to be chilly. Highs in the low 20s. Is it hot enough for you? Thanks so much for joining us here on the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic. And no matter where you go in this country, there is no lack of summer weather. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Hot, humid conditions could fit into any of those categories, depending on your access to, say, air conditioning. Temperatures are becoming a little bit more bearable, if you will, if you don't love the heat and humidity. Speaking of heat, Kevin Yard joins us live from Rib Fest in Mississauga. And Kevin, I tweeted out a picture of you eating ribs, and I'm incredibly jealous that you were doing this morning. Extreme heat, that is what we have been dealing with over the last couple of days. Temperatures skyrocketing into the mid-30s. Not exactly 38 degrees. I think what we're about to see this sign, I'm not really sure what location it was in, but if you're in your car and you don't have any AC, well, it's going to be a bit of a sticky commute. Drinking it and being by it if you can. Here's a look at some of the humidex values from yesterday. Felt like 44 in the city of Toronto. St. Catharines, the big winner, feeling closer to 47. Now, we do have a little bit of active weather on the way, and what's going to happen as we've got two systems. We're dealing with the one left over from yesterday today, and that's going to bring the risk of isolated thunderstorms towards cottage country and over towards the eastern portion of the GTA. So through parts of Scarborough and through Cobourg, and then all the way out towards Kingston, Brockville, and then into Ottawa. That's where we can see some storms firing up. The cells down towards the southwest, they're going to be lake breeze convergence types of storms with daytime heating and humidity. Now, throughout the day tomorrow, we've got a new system coming in, and this one is going to cool us down significantly. So it's going to be more so tomorrow afternoon and into the evening. That's when this cold front is going to approach, and we are going to see the risk of severe cells firing up. So for today, we're looking at scattered torrential downpours for anyone who does see some thunderstorm activity, and then tomorrow it's going to be more so about the winds as well as the rain, the potential for some small-sized hail, because these ones are going to be cold front triggered thunderstorms, and you know what we get when the cold front hits hot, humid, tropical air mass. We could see some severe cells firing up. So we'll continue to talk about this story coming up, but first I'm going to turn things over to Tom. Tom, how are the roads this morning? Hi there, good morning. Thanks for joining us. It is warm and hot and sticky, and I don't even know. I'm running out of adjectives. The heat's affecting my brain.
Sweltering.
It is sweltering.
It's sweltering.
Scorching.
It's very close. Which is another name for it. Very close, humid, and just surrounds you.
I've never heard it's
it's called close. Yeah, okay, you can use that word too.
I think he's making it up.
No. And hot and sticky also applies to ribs.
Kevin joins us from Mississauga Rib Fest. And Kevin, we saw you munching on some ribs earlier, and I think you're just trying to make us jealous.
You look marvelous.
Temperatures today are going to be into the 30s, feeling more like the 40s yet again. We do have the potential to reach heat wave status through the city of Toronto. A lot of places have already hit it in our community and through southern Ontario. Now, temperatures yesterday got up into the mid-30s. The Human X values, this is what it felt like. 44 in London, it felt like 44 through Toronto, and it felt like 47 through St. Catharines, the big winner. Now, what's going to happen when we've got all this heat and humidity and this tropical moisture, when this cold front slices through, that's where we could see some isolated, possibly even severe cells. Now, for today, all the active weather is going to stay mostly to the north and east of the city of Toronto. Now, we're still in it. There is a risk, but for the most part, it's going to be up towards cottage country and out through parts of Scarborough and in through Oshawa, off towards Kingston, Brockville, and into Ottawa. Down towards the southwest, we're looking at garden variety, pop-up, daytime heating induced, lake breeze, showers, and possibly thunderstorms. Now, throughout the day tomorrow, here comes our next system. Now, this system could be bringing us some severe cells right through the GTA. It is also going to be bringing us a significant cool down. More active weather is going to be firing up throughout the afternoon and then through the evening. Here's the risk map for today. We're looking at non-severe cells for the most part along the shores of Ontario and Erie, but tomorrow, that's when things could fire up a little more. Biggest risk is going to be strong winds, torrential downpours, and I mean, you can't rule out the severity of these storms as they develop throughout the day, but we'll keep you posted and we'll follow this story closely. Here's Tom now with an update on the roads. Temperatures getting back up into the 30s today, feeling like the 40s when you factor in the humidity. It's going to be hot and sticky. And Tom, our love of heat is one thing that we have in common.
Yeah, we love it. I think there's. Well, I think we have more than that.
Well, that leads me to my next point.
We like ribs.
We like food.
Food.
We like
cookies.
Food in general.
All those things.
And Kevin Yard is joining us live from Ribfest this morning. And Kevin likes food as well. And he's just been making us drool with the ribs that he's been enjoying this morning. Tom's even thinking about opening up a franchise, Kevin.
Called Breakfast Ribs and Breakfast Pizza.
And we're going to throw it back inside to you guys. Yes, I will bring some back. I won't be bringing any celery sticks. We're live at the Mississauga Rib Fest.
I don't even care that he's manhandling that meat. I think it looks even better. Don't you, Tom?
Well, he's manhandling it with gloves on, which is good. Nothing wrong with that. Massage it. Yeah. Well, right now, let's go and have a look and see how we're doing out there on the highways. Makes it tender. Oh, yeah.
Looks great. Now, the heat and the humidity is really going to drop off because we've got a cold front coming in. Now, this is going to be bringing us the potential for some storms, but we're also going to see a wicked cool down by Saturday and even into Sunday. Well, I know a lot of people love the heat and humidity, and a lot of people not so much. But no matter where you go in this country, there is no lack of summer weather, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Hot, humid conditions could fit into any of those categories, depending on your access to air conditioning. In southern Quebec, sticky air is getting part of the blame. Hot, sticky, Those are two words to describe Ribfest, where we find Kevin Yard this morning. He's live in Mississauga. And Kevin, I think everybody here at the Weather Network is expecting a really good breakfast from you. It's certainly going to be the type of day where you're going to want to eat lunch outside, but in the shade and by the water if you can. Temperatures are going to get very warm by the afternoon. We're talking mid-30s, possibly feeling closer to the mid-40s when you factor in the humidity. Toronto 27, risk of a few isolated thunderstorms. We do have a cold front that's going to be approaching later on this afternoon and into this evening, and that's where you could see a risk of more isolated, possibly in severe thunderstorms firing up. The heat is one of our main stories here at the Weather Network, as are ribs. We're going to be talking to Kevin just after 8:30. He is at Mississauga Rib Fest, enjoying some early morning tasty treats. We'll check in with him in just a bit. Yesterday, it was so hot, so hot. It was like a slap in the face when you walked outside. Just that wall of heat is, well, it's going to be another scorcher. Humidex advisory still in effect for much of southern Ontario, including the GTA. This is what the Humidex values got up to yesterday. So St. Catharines, the hot spot, feeling closer to 47 when you factor in the humidity. Now, a lot of places are getting a bit of a break from the heat. We're talking about kind of Ottawa north and east because of this cold front that's actually swept through and brought much cooler temperatures. Now, it also brought intense thunderstorms. But I think the break from the heat is what people are really enjoying, minus, the vicious storms that roll through. Now, we are going to see the risk for isolated thunderstorms throughout the day tomorrow as well. Now, we do have the risk this afternoon, but they're going to stay mostly east and north of the city, down towards the southwest. Tomorrow is going to be our story. We've got a new area of low pressure moving through with this boundary, this cold front. We could see thunderstorms firing up mostly by the afternoon and in through the evening. And the risk for thunderstorms today, we're going to see non-severe in nature, and they're going to be mostly around cottage country, the severe cells, and the biggest risk is going to be heavy downpours. And then throughout the day tomorrow, again, that risk is there for very strong winds, the potential for small-sized hail, and very heavy downpours. Could see the potential for severe storms, so we'll talk more about this later on, but first, here's Tom. Well, it has been so hot these last couple of days, Tom.
How hot has it been? How do you just say that?
Hot enough for me to bake cookies in my car.
You're not alone. A Metro Toronto police officer did the same thing yesterday in the back of his cruiser.
Copycat.
Copycat.
Copycat. Just for that, if you're watching, I get some of those cookies. All right, it is so hot. Kevin joins us. He is at Rib Fest, the place to be when it's hot.
Well, you might as well. It's hot and sticky outside, hot and sticky there, too.
Kevin's just been making us drool this morning. He's been eating ribs right in front of us. Thanks, Kevin. The last time I had a bloomin' onion, Tom and I were just talking about this, I was like this big pregnant. I was huge, and I was like, ooh, I need to get one of those. It was awful. It was yummy, but it was awful, if you know what I mean, Tom. Looks amazing. Temperatures really cooling down for the weekend. Saturday 26, Sunday 22. It's going to feel kind of cold in comparison. The heat, the humidity continues for one more day, and we could see some pretty intense thunderstorms firing up throughout the day tomorrow. Congratulations if you just got married, and congratulations if you're just about to head off on your honeymoon. Looking at a couple of places down south. If you're off towards the Bahamas, we're seeing lots of sunshine and warm temperatures, 29 through Nassau and in through Puerto Rico, 29, tons of sun. Antigua, I've been there recently, and wow, it is spectacular. Seeing lots of sunshine there and in through St. Lucia, daytime high of 29. The heat and the humidity will continue for at least 2 more days. We do have temperatures rising up into the 30s, feeling more like the 40s when you factor in the humidity. Yesterday, temperatures were so warm. Catharines, being the hot spot, felt closer to 47 when you factored in the humidity. Humidex advisory, of course, still in place, especially down towards the southwest. We are going to be seeing the risk of a few isolated thunderstorms throughout the day today. Along the shores of Lake Erie and Ontario, they are going to be non-severe in nature. The more severe cells could be firing up this afternoon and in through this evening around cottage country and north and east of the city. Tomorrow is going to be a big story with this cold front. It's going to be more widespread. The risk is going to be quite high for severe storms to be firing up later in the afternoon and in through the evening. The biggest threat is going to be heavy downpours, strong winds, and the potential for some hail. Here's the risk for today. Again, the severe cells should be staying mostly close to cottage country where that cold front is just continuing to push through the boundary, if you will. And then for tomorrow, higher risk throughout the lower Great Lakes. Torrential downpours are going to be quite possible. It doesn't look like it's going to be last Monday, but we could still see some pretty heavy amounts of rain in a short period of time. So localized flooding is certainly going to be a possibility, as is pooling on the highways. With more on traffic, here's Tom. Good morning, I'm Emily Vukovic. Thanks for joining us. One of our big stories is, of course, the extreme heat hitting southern Ontario. A lot of communities into heat wave status. The city of Toronto certainly getting close. Temperatures yesterday got up into the mid-30s and felt even warmer when you factored in the humidity. Humidex values from yesterday felt like 44 for the city of Toronto, and St. Catharines is the winner, felt closer to 47. No wonder the Humidex advisory is still in place. Now, the reason why it has been dropped further east is because of a cold front that brought in some pretty intense thunderstorms yesterday and has the risk of bringing in some possibly severe cells just around cottage country later on this afternoon and into this evening. The biggest risk is going to be strong winds and heavy downpours. Throughout the day tomorrow, that's going to be a big story for much of southern Ontario. New system moves through. This one is going to have the potential to bring us again strong winds, heavy downpours, the potential for some small-sized hail, and this is going to be more widespread throughout southern Ontario. Reason being, we've got all that hot, humid, tropical air coming up from the southwest, and once that cold front hits, well, that's where the electricity could happen. So the more severe risk is around cottage country on the shores of Georgian Bay today, and then tomorrow stretches all through southern Ontario. Kevin Yard joins us from Ribfest coming up. Good morning. Thanks for joining us on another hot and sticky day. Temperatures yesterday got up into the mid-30s. It is going to feel closer to the 40s again when you factor in the humidity. Hot and sticky. That's pretty much our big story for today. Another thing that's hot and sticky is ribs. Kevin joins us live from Mississauga's Rib Fest. And Kevin, I know you are enjoying your morning.
Okay, all right. What does everybody have to say?
Ribfest is best!
Ribfest is best. Come on down. I've got to find a way to cool off.
That was great. I wonder if he knew that was coming. That's such a fantastic thing to do to Kevin, and that's what he gets for bragging about eating ribs all morning long. All right, well, the heat, the humidity, it's there to stay, especially throughout the southwest throughout the day today. Humidex advisory still in place. It has been dropped with areas further east because of a cold front that moved through yesterday afternoon, brought with it some pretty intense thunderstorms, but also cooler, drier air. Now, throughout the day today, we do have a risk for non-severe pop-up thunderstorms along the shores of Ontario and Erie. More severe cells could be firing up through cottage country along the shores of Georgian Bay, but then tomorrow, new system comes in, and this one is going to be bringing us the risk for more severe weather. Again, heavy downpours, strong winds, potential for some small-sized hail anywhere throughout southern Ontario. But I think a lot of people are really going to agree that behind this cold front is what we want to see. Cooler, drier air. This weekend is going to be fantastic if you are going to Mississauga Rib Fest. I know Kitchener has a Rib Fest going on this weekend. Lots of events going up in cottage country, and look at that. Saturday 26 and Sunday sunny and 22 degrees, only feeling like the mid-20s when you factor in the humidity. Weekend looks great in Hamilton. Slight risk for a few isolated showers. Good morning, I'm Emily Vukovic. Thanks for joining us. One of our big stories is, of course, the extreme heat hitting southern Ontario. A lot of communities into heat wave status. The city of Toronto certainly getting close. Temperatures yesterday got up into the mid-30s and felt even warmer when you factored in the humidity. Humidex values from yesterday felt like 44 for the city of Toronto, and St. Catharines is the winner, felt closer to 47. No wonder the Humidex advisory is still in place. Now, the reason why it has been dropped further east is because of a cold front that brought in some pretty intense thunderstorms yesterday and has the risk of bringing in some possibly severe cells just around cottage country later on this afternoon and into this evening. The biggest risk is going to be strong winds and heavy downpours. Throughout the day tomorrow, that's going to be a big story for much of southern Ontario. New system moves through. This one is going to have the potential to bring us again strong winds, heavy downpours, the potential for some small-sized hail, and this is going to be more widespread throughout southern Ontario. Reason being, we've got all that hot, humid, tropical air coming up from the southwest, and once that cold front hits, well, that's where the electricity could happen. So the more severe risk is around cottage country on the shores of Georgian Bay today, and then tomorrow stretches all through southern Ontario. Kevin Yard joins us from Ribfest coming up.
Now, by the weekend, we will see some relief once this all passes through. If you're looking for some ideas of things to do this weekend, here are a few.
Hi there, I'm Emily Vukovic, taking a look at some of the amazing events that are going to be happening throughout southern Ontario this weekend. We're going to start things off, and your taste buds are going to be watering. We're heading to Mississauga to Ribfest. This is happening Thursday right through Sunday. There's nothing quite like ribs on a hot summer day. The next event, the Beaches International Jazz Festival. Now, I know some people wait all year for this. This is such a hit. It kicks off this weekend. They'd love to hear from you. Send me a tweet at EmilyTWN. If you're off to the United States, expect the heat to continue for the beginning of the weekend, especially through parts of Boston and through New York. Down towards Miami, a few isolated thunderstorms quite possible. And to the west, it's gorgeous. Los Angeles seeing lots of sun and 22 degrees. If you're off to Europe, we are seeing sunshine through Madrid and Paris looking good, a mix of sun and cloud. And through Greece, it is going to be hot. It is going to be sunny. We are going to see a daytime high of 33 through Athens.